entering the urban suite. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community with Dr. Lisa LaCon. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community with Dr. Lisa LaCon. about mental health.
Hello, 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 my urban knights. How are you all doing? You have entered into the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa LaCon. How are you all doing tonight? Welcome to Urban Tunes for Change. Oh my goodness, listen. I was not here last week, so it feels like I haven't been here in ages. And the last time I was here with Dr. Jen Baker of Jamaica. That kind of rhymes. Anyway, we had a wonderful time the last time I was here in the Urban Suite. And guess what? Oh my goodness, we're going to have an awesome time tonight. Not really having that much fun about what we're going to talk about, but I'm here with you. You're here with me in the Urban Suite. And I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome again. So thank you all for everything that you're doing. I need you, listen, my Urbanites, I need you to like, I need you to share, and I need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me on my various Facebook platforms. That would be Urban Tunes for Change, Dads, and Bless Ministries Incorporated. So yes. So with that being said, Urban Tunes for Change is sponsored by Bless Ministries Incorporated. We are the premier workforce development agency in the state of New Jersey. We assist people on parole to get them employed. We work with adults with disabilities to get them employed. We work with youth with disabilities to get them employed. We work with people receiving food stamps to get them employed. So I just want to say thank you to all of the donations that came in this week. Within the last, I would say, 3 weeks, Bless Ministries has raised almost $1,000. Yes, I got to ring the bell. Yes, thank you so very much. And we are almost at our goal for Giving Tuesday. We set a goal of $500. The last time I looked, we were at $485, close to our goal. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that was able to contribute. No amount is too small. Every amount that is large is fine. That's fantastic. I just want to say thank you. And then also, let me put up this with Blessed Ministries. If you want more information about who we are at Blessed Ministries, go to our website. That is www.bmiworks.org. That's www.bmiworks.org. And our telephone number is 973-733-WORK. That's 973-733-WORK. So outside of that, the good news with the donations, Urban Tunes for Change is on iHeartRadio now and Spotify. Yes! Yay! Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Thank you all for wanting to learn more about what's happening in the urban community, about our mental health and things of that nature. So if you are on iHeartRadio, you can just search Dr. Lisa LaCon, Dr. Lisa, LA, capital C as in Charlie, O-N. That is Dr. Lisa LaCon. Or if you're in Spotify listening to your jams and you want to listen to a podcast, check me out there also. You can search me, Dr. Lisa LaCon. So listen, tonight, oh my gosh, tonight is something really disturbing and it's bothersome to me. Okay, but before we get into it, we have to discuss and talk about our missing person that I am highlighting for this week. So hold on, you guys. Be with you in just a second. Unfortunately, our missing person for this episode is Devin Newsome. Devin Newsome has been missing since November the 30th, 2021. He is 28 years old. He's been missing from Los Angeles, California. He is male, he's Black, and he is medium complexion. He's 5'7", 130 pounds. Hair color is black. Hair length is shaved. Eye color is brown. Location last seen. Devin was last seen in Los Angeles, California, and has been missing since last week. So it's been exactly 7 days. He was last seen wearing an olive green sweatshirt with Sao Paulo on the front. Anyone with information, please contact the LA Police Department. And their number is 877-284-7328. Again, their number is 877-284-7328. Or contact the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporation at 877-97-BAMFI. I'm going to keep this picture up for a couple of seconds so you can see Devin Newsome. Now, this is why, Urbanites, I ask you to share. I ask you to share what this episode is about. Although we're talking about issues surrounding the urban community, this is an issue surrounding the urban community. A lot of our children, a lot of our loved ones are missing. And I had the opportunity to share a little boy and his father. They were missing from Montgomery County in Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland. Come to find out, someone saw them on a train in New York City. Someone saw him on a train in New York City and reported, and he was picked up. He had his son, and his son, he wasn't supposed to have custody of his son. And guess what? The father is a sex offender. Yes, the father is a sex offender. He is a tier 3 sex offender, meaning the rate of offense is highly likable. It's highly likely that he is going to reoffend and engage in a sexual act. So I'm glad this is working. Definitely, urbanites, people that are listening out there, remember I said, please share this on Facebook. Please share this through YouTube. Definitely, because we have to find our babies. We got to find them. And unfortunately, some of the ones that I posted, it was a sad news to report because their remains were found. But hopefully, God willing, Devin Newsome will come home and be safe. All right, my urbanites, are you all ready for tonight's topic? It is Black and incarcerated in the Garden State Penitentiary. It is Black and incarcerated in the Garden State of New Jersey. That's why New Jersey is the Garden State, but I think I'm going to coin it the Garden State Penitentiary for Black folks. Because I tell you, the number of Blacks or the uninvited in the penitentiary system in the state of New Jersey is very alarming. So I picked up the Essex Times. Here it is right here. The Essex Times. I picked it up. I turned to page 5 initially, and then I saw this. I was very pleased about the ad in page 5. And then as I read through the paper, I'm seeing some other things that is very disturbing to me. And this is the thing that is disturbing to me. An article, let me get this paper correct. An article in the Essex Times that says, report, New Jersey, racial and ethnic disparities in prisons are worse in the nation. Listen, did you hear what I just said? As we sit in our little nice comfy cocoon, as we sit in our wonderful plush silos, that New Jersey, racial and ethnic disparities in prison are worse in the nation. So I had to do a little digging after I read the article, and I said, you know what, let me go to the source, because that's where you have to go. I have to go to the source. I'm going to just read a couple of things about this article, what's in this article from the Essex Times. All right. It's in their latest edition. So if you are going to any church function, usually the Essex Times is there. We have them at Blessed Ministries Incorporated. We have them at a lot of nonprofit agencies. So go ahead, pick it up. It is free, wonderful information about what's happening in Essex County, but not only Essex County. This article pertains to the entire state of New Jersey. So let's get into this. All right. So this is a news report from the Sentencing Project. Shows that Black residents in New Jersey are incarcerated at a rate over 12 times that of whites, the partygoers. All right. Higher than the nation at average. All right. Let me show you a picture of something. Let me bring this up real quick. Hold on for a second. What do you see there? Who is that lady? She's called what? Lady Justice. Now, Lady Justice, if you look at Lady Justice, look at her. Look at that gown. It looks like a little Roman gown, you know. It's not African gown, of course. She has scales which measure the strength of a case support. She has that. She wears blindfolds to show and reveal that she's impartial with regard to wealth and power and other status, probably not race. Oh, I'm sorry, let me stop. That's my opinion. And she has a sword, which signifies justice is swift and final. Yes, that's Lady Justice. Ooh, look at Lady Justice. Now, who's that lady? Oh, Lord. That's supposed to be a representative of Lady Justice. That's former DA Jackie Johnson, who tried to bury the case of Ahmaud Arbery when he was shot down and killed. You see, let me go back to Lady Justice. Lady Justice was not intended, in my opinion, to service and to serve and to benefit the uninvited, which we are. This woman right here, Jackie Johnson, look at her. Look at her face. She took an oath. She swore to uphold justice, but she did not. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how many laws you put in place. We are sinful individuals, and we operate under the guise of one word. What is that word, you guys? We operate under the guise of one word. I don't care if you are a policeman. I don't care if you are a teacher, doctor, nurse, district attorney, judge. We operate under the guise of stigma. Hello. You can't legislate a person's stigmatizing attitude in their heart. You can't legislate that. So we're going to go through this tonight to talk about Black and incarceration. We're going to talk about the causes. We're going to dig into that report. And then this is part one. Next week will be part two, talking about a possible solution. And I'm going to get into that a little later. But what do you think stigma is? What is stigma? Because this woman right here, I got to keep showing her face. Look at that. She looks very clownish. I'm sorry. I don't, but I'm sorry. But what is stigma? Stigma are negative thoughts and reactions. Okay, listen to that. Negative thoughts and reactions regarding people, places, and things stemming from your belief system. And that is the definition from Dr. Patrick Corrigan. That's what stigma is. Let me repeat that. It's negative thoughts and reactions. I didn't say responses. I said reactions regarding people, places, and things stemming from your belief system. Okay? Your belief system starts right here. So, if you believe all of the uninvited are thugs, that's how you're going to treat them. If you believe all Black women are welfare mamas, that's how you're going to treat them. Okay? So, there are 3 types of stigma. I'm not going to really go into stigma tonight, but there are 3 types of stigma. You have public stigma that comes from the public. You have self-stigma that comes from within yourself. You internalize what the public is saying about you. And then you have institutionalized stigma. Institutionalized stigma is the criminal justice / injustice system. It's an institution. So if you have people operating under the guise of having a stigmatizing attitude or discriminatory attitude, a prejudice attitudes towards someone, towards something, that's how they're going to react, just like Jackie Johnson. So, the uninvited, we came over here because we didn't want to come here to the United States. We were taken from a faraway country, cramped in a little ship, a little boat, to work for the party goers so that they could be wealthy and so that we can remain poor. And then what did they do? They put us on a plantation. Well, after we got our independence from that form of a plantation, we now have, in my opinion, a new plantation station, and it's called prison. Hello, the new prison. The new prison, right now, as it is, filled with Blacks, is the new plantation. All right, so let's get into this report. All right, so this report gives an overview. I'm not going to go into everything because there's a lot of meat in this report. If you are interested in this report and reading it for yourself, you can Google the Sentencing Project, and the woman's name is Dr. Nellis. I believe, what is her name? Dr. Nellis, Ashley Nellis. You can Google Dr. Ashley Nellis, Nellis, and this report will come up and you can read it for yourself. All right, so listen. This is sad. Nationally, this is according to the Sentencing Project, 1 in 81 Black adults in the United States is serving time in state prison. That's just state prison. We're not talking about federal prison because, you know, there are 2 types of prison. There's the state and then there's federal. And then, you know, you have your county jails, which is different than prison. Okay. Wisconsin, listen, you people in Wisconsin. Wisconsin leads the nation in Black imprisonment rates. 1 in every 36 Black Wisconsinites is in prison. 1 in 36. So let me tell you, if you are growing up in Wisconsin or you're trying to start a family in Wisconsin and you are a part of the uninvited, I don't know. I think you need to get the heck out of there because the probability of you going to prison is very likely if you are part of the uninvited crew. So listen, if you live in Wisconsin, hey, and then Wisconsin, Blacks only make up 6% of the population. All right. In 12 states, more than half the prison population is Black. Y'all ready for these states? Y'all ready for these states? We have Alabama, Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Mississippi, New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. In 12 states, more than half the prison population is Black. Now, what is happening with this? I mean, this is crazy. 7 states maintain a Black-white disparity larger than 9-1. And of course, California, Connecticut, Iowa, Maine, Minnesota, New Jersey, and of course, Wisconsin. So listen, what's happening? What's happening with our Blacks here in the United States? Why is it that we are number one in everything horrific? We're number one with cancer deaths. We're number one in the prison population. We're number one with colon cancer. We're number one with breast cancer. We're number one with the mortality rate. We're just number one in everything except wealth. I mean, what? I just don't get it. I get it, but then I just don't get it. Like, oh my God, who is out to assault us? But sometimes I think we are here to assault ourselves. But again, we have to look at that word, stigma. So this report lays out a couple of things like recommendations to curb this number. Now, before I get into that, something came across my desk today about New Jersey and what's happening in New Jersey right now. So remember when prisoners were released from prison last year around this time, I believe, it's the New Jersey delivered the single biggest blow to mass incarceration in state history. The Public Health Emergency Credit. That was a bill that became law. It was a first of its kind law, went into effect, creating a pathway for those incarcerated in state prisons to be released within a year to have their sentences reduced by up to 8 months. Listen to this. I want you all to listen to this. When this law took effect on November the 4th, 2020, almost exactly a year ago, New Jersey experienced the biggest single day of decarceration in its history, returning 2,258 people home. Well, not really home because some of them didn't have a home, but they were released. And over the past year, that number climbed to 5,343 people released early from prison. The collective impact was massive. New Jerseyans got back 2,759 years. Well, not really, because yes, I get what they're saying. But once you serve time in prison, you can't really get back that time. I know what they're saying, but ask a person that was in prison on a low-level offense, how much time did they get back? Okay, anyway. More than 1 million days, oh my gosh, of freedom and opportunity. Listen to that, of freedom and opportunity. Freedom to do what when many of them came out without having an ID? Freedom to do what? When many of them came out without having a home in place. Freedom to do what? Go back and rob? Go back and steal? I don't know. Like, what are they going to do? But see, that's why they need to come to Blessed Ministries Incorporated, because we will assist you. We will help you become employed. And let me tell you about employment. Employment is often overlooked as a satisfactory recommendation to reduce the prison population. So let's go into the recommendations of the Sentencing Project. They're kind of long and lengthy, and it just, to me, I don't know. Anyway, the first recommendation is to eliminate mandatory sentences for all crimes. So rather than have someone, if they were convicted of a heinous crime, rather than them doing life, reduce their sentence so that they can come out, maybe be on parole, and then what? Have someone else take their place? I don't know. But anyway, that's the eliminating the mandatory sentencing for all crimes. It doesn't say some crimes, it says all crimes. That's recommendation number 1. Recommendation number 2 is require prospective and retroactive racial impact statements for all criminal statutes. They urge that states to adopt forecasting estimates that will calculate the impact of proposed crime legislation or different populations in order to minimize or eliminate the racially disparate impacts of certain laws and policies. Well, you can just kind of figure that out based on your zip code. Decriminalize low-level drug offenses. That's number 3. Discontinue arrests and prosecutions for low-level drug offenses, which often lead to the accumulation of prior convictions. Yes, I agree with that. So those are the recommendations. But it's interesting that these are, let me go to their rationale, the cause. Hold on for a quick second. So, some of the causes of this disparity, according to the Sentencing Project. Number 1, a legacy of racial subordination, which is true. That's what I talked about earlier, talking about the discriminatory practices that people that are supposed to take an oath, but they do see color. So when people say, I don't see color, I'm colorblind, you a lie. So yeah, misperceptions about people of different races or ethnicities influences criminal justice outcomes. Yes, they do. From people like Jackie Johnson, who tried to cover up that shooting. She tried to cover up a murder, and she's a DA. She was elected to prosecute people for crimes, and she decided to cover it up. Now, did she decide to cover it up because she wanted to take vacation? Did she decide to cover up because she thought the case was boring? Or did she decide to cover it up because the victim was a Black male who, in her opinion, she may have thought, I said may have, thought that he was a thug deserving to die like an animal? I don't know. Anyway, so that's some of their causes. That's one, the legacy of racial subordination. The second one is biased policies and practices. That one I agree with, but again, it's a matter of the heart. If you have judges, if you have police, if you have prosecutors that harbor these stigmatizing attitudes, how can you legislate that? It's very, very challenging. But that's what they say. And the one is policing. Now, I do believe policing is a situation. Now, when I grew up in Washington, D.C., if I recall, most of the police, they recruited from the area. So you kind of knew them. I grew up in Ward 4, so that was the 4th precinct. And if I recall, most of the police grew up in the area that they served and protected. And I don't know if you remember, but I remember we had the Officer Friendly. Everybody remembers Officer Friendly? We had Officer Friendly. We also had a band. There were a police band. If you all know the band, if you're from DC, and we went to elementary school together, and what was the name of the police band? And they went to different schools talking about safety issues. And there was a band and they played instruments, musicians, and things of that nature. That's how it was growing up in DC back then. And most of the cops looked like me. They were part of the uninvited crew. So, policing, that's one of the things that they talk about. And then the next one is perpetual structural disadvantage. A third explanation is persistent racial disparities in state prisons. Well, we know that. But how do you stop it? How can you put a Band-Aid on a sinking ship? Because that's what it appears to be. A sinking ship. You know, I'm going to tell you a little later. I'm going to tell you a little later in part 2 of this. But let me read something else that was of interest in this Color of Justice. Man, woo, 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 woo. Looking at all states together, we see that the national level, Black people are incarcerated at a rate of, listen to this, hold on to your hats for this one. Hold on to your hats. Are incarcerated at a rate of 1,240 per 100,000, while white people are incarcerated at a rate of 261 per 100,000. What in the world? Oh my God. Are you serious? Listen to this. We see that at the national level, Black people, the uninvited, are incarcerated at a rate of 1,240 per 100,000, while white people are incarcerated at a rate of 261. 1,240, 261 for white people per 100,000. I cannot wrap my brain around that. I cannot wrap my brain around that. Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Idaho, Montana, they have the highest rates of incarceration among Black residents, with 2,742 per 100,000 residents in prison. Now, listen to this. I said this earlier. This statistic is remarkable given that Black people comprise only 6% of Wisconsin's general population. Listen, if you're Black and in Wisconsin, you may need to get the heck out of there and run as fast as you can, because let me tell you, your chances are not looking good if you're Black and in Wisconsin. I'm telling you. Woo, man, this is something else. This is something else. So let me ask you guys, my urbanites, because you all are pretty intelligent. You all are pretty intelligent out there. Let's see. I just read about New Jersey, all right, releasing all of these people, because this report failed, in my opinion, to miss the number one cause why Black people are incarcerated. Failed, in my opinion. Let me ask you something. With all of these people in prison being incarcerated, how much money did they lose? Uh-oh. whoa. How much money did they lose that they may have to recoup? Oh my gosh. What do I envision? What do I envision? What do I envision? Oh my gosh, I envision major arrests, not for low-level offenses. Nope. I see a lot of carjacking. I'm seeing it now. Listen, you brothers out there, you better stop it. Stop it right now. I sound like, what's her name? Nancy Reagan, just say no. Listen, there's a lot of carjacking out there, especially in New Jersey. You're mandated to go in the pen immediately. Immediately. I'm telling you, carjacking is going to be on the rise because what this report failed to realize, this is a money-making, profit-making machine. It's a well-oiled machine off of the backs of Black people. $25,000 to $70,000. That's how much it is for a person incarcerated. New York has, California, their rate is like almost $64,000, $64,000 to $69,000. California and Hawaii, they have the largest amount as per the Vera report. So let's go to some comments. Tyrone Jackson says, Florida gives jail time for contempt of court for missed alimony and child support. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, brilliant. Put dad in jail for a month or two so he can catch up on missed payment. The system doesn't work. But beyond that, ladies, what did I tell you? Don't fertilize. Don't get your eggs fertilized by people that just, hey, if you don't intend to marry them, don't get your egg fertilized by them. All right. So what else? Shades Radio, aka Shades of Hip Hop, says, got to talk about the child support system one day. Absolutely. This child support system is something else. But men, let me tell you, it is your responsibility. That's your child. That's your seed. It felt good going in, but when those payments come, it hurts. Oh my God. It hurts. But you listen, when you had that one night, it felt good, but you got to think about the consequences. Got to think of the consequences. Oh my goodness. Abortion, the overlooked tragedy for Black Americans. Yes, that's another one. These clinics in the urban community. Now, why is it that our population rate never exceeds like 12, 13%? It's by design, people. Wake up. It's by design. Jail's tough. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. It's all a setup to all those incarcerated. What supports were put in place? The system is set up to fail, of course, to fail us, not them. They're getting richer while we're getting poor. We're living in poverty and they're living in the palace. You know what? We all know these things, but I'm going to give you the solution. I'm going to tell you something, urbanites. I'm going to tell you something. Next week is going to be good because I'm going to tell you the playbook that the LGBTQ plus AYBZZ QRXYZ2 1 2 3 people, what they did. It is not by accident or coincidence that you see that population in the media. Everywhere you look, every script, every storyline, I mean, it's all over the place, all over. I'm going to tell you what happened to me in the early 90s. I was invited to a meeting and they laid the blueprint out. For you see, I had a very colorful past. Anyway, I'm not ashamed. So let's see what else is out there. It's all a setup, no supports when they come out. That is true. They have very little supports. That's why Blessed Ministries exist. And this is why I thank God for the people that donated to Blessed Ministry, because we help you get on your feet. We help you get on your feet. Let's see. A Black father was found in contempt for overpaying his child support. For overpaying. By overpaying, he was violating the court's ordered amount. You know what? I'm telling you. Listen. And that's from Tyrone Jackson. How you doing, Tyrone? Big shout out to Tyrone Jackson. Big shout out to Shades of Hip Hop. Big shout out to King Brown, Angelia, King Brown. I'm telling you, people, especially the Black men out there, I'm going to dissect and let you in on the blueprint. I can't believe it. It happened 30 so years ago, and it probably happened before that. But next week is going to be very interesting because I don't only like to give the cause and what the problem is. I am solution focused. And this, what I'm going to talk about next week, is part of the solution. And it's working because you can see it. You can see the manifestation of the meeting that I went to 30 years ago. Let me tell you, it's going to be, you're going to have to bring your notepad. You're going to have to bring pen, pencil, some type of writing utensil, because it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be something else. So let's see what else. Oh, thank you, Tyrone Jack. Oh, you thought I was 30? Oh, so that means I was maybe 12 months when I went to that meeting. No, Tyrone, I am not ashamed to say I just experienced a birthday last week. I am 52 years old. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Yes, 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 yes. I am the big 5'2", and I thank God that he has spared my life for 52 years. So now I'm here discussing these things that I know over my 52 years of being here on earth. I'm telling you, this thing is interesting. So when you have people like Jackie Johnson, whose heart is not in the right place, the system won't ever change, because at the end of the day, we are all sinners. She's a sinner, and she's under the guise of whoever she's serving, because she totally did something very egregious in her position and in her role. And when it comes to us as Blacks, I'm not going to say all of us are innocent. No. We commit crimes. We carjack. We do these things because oftentimes it's based on survival. We self-sabotage ourselves based on greed. And we self-sabotage ourselves based on ignorance. So say, for instance, the gentleman that overpaid, he may have been ignorant about the system and thought in himself that he was doing something good, but he broke the law because he was ignorant of the law. Sometimes we are greedy. We just want more and more and more. You know, when you got that money, that PPP money from the feds, you should not have bought a car. That's not survival. You shouldn't have spent that money at a strip joint. That's not survival. That's you being greedy. And guess what? You deserve to be caught. Now, some people do it based on survival because, one, they don't have a job. Again, that's why you come to Blessed Ministries Incorporated, so you don't have to hit anybody over the head to get money, to get a loaf of bread. So a lot of people do it because they just don't have the financial means. They don't have the skill set to get hired. They don't have the intelligence oftentimes to get hired, especially if they're coming from prison. They may not know or be familiar with new technology. They may not be familiar or know anything about, these new resumes and Indeed and Monster and all of these things. they may not be familiar with that. When they went in prison, they may have gone to prison when you just go in a store, ask them, are you hiring? And they say yes. And then you do the interview on the spot. Now everything goes through a portal. So it's just, I listen, we have to come to a place where, number one, we can't blame everyone for our problems. We have to do a self-reflection. We have to do self-reflection on ourselves to see, okay, how can we make this better? And again, next week, I'm going to dig into it. Let's see. Tyrone Jackson says, but Yeshua said to them, let the children come to me and do not forbid them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. Amen. Matthew 19:14. Yes. Listen, I tell people as a Christian, when I die, when you die, because we all have an expiration date, as a Christian, this is our belief that we will all stand before God and he's going to ask, why did you do that? Why did you steal that car? Why did you hide that case? Why did you do that? And you have to be prepared to defend your decision. But if you violated his law, your decisions will not stand before the Almighty God. It just won't. It just won't. So listen, I am getting ready to sign out. And listen, next week is part 2. Next week is part 2, because I'm going to talk about specifically some solutions to this. I've seen the manifestation of it. 30 years later, I've seen the manifestation of it. And I'm telling you, if and when we are unified, it can work. I'm telling you, it can if we are unified. But until that time, here in the United States, you can have a party goer walking down the street with a big old gun, kill people, and get off scot-free, found not guilty. But you could be sitting in your car, get pulled over for I don't know why or what, and say that you have a legal gun and get shot at 7 times while 5 bullets hit you and you are pronounced dead 20 minutes later here in America. And that will happen, and it has happened, to the uninvited. So, Lady Justice with her blindfold. Let's see, let's go back to this picture. This Lady Justice with her blindfold and her scales and her sword. And sometimes she's depicted with snakes at her feet. Let me tell you, this system will never be just. This system will never be fair as long as we have women like that woman right there, Jackie Johnson, in office. Because at the end of the day, it's about matters of the heart. Matters of the heart. And based on how people see you, what their belief system is about you, that's how they're going to treat you. So, my Urbanites, I thank you for coming in to the Urban Suite. Next week, same time, same channels, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iHeartRadio. If you don't want to look at me, you can listen to me only on iHeartRadio or Spotify. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, please, please, please share, because Devin Newsome, we want to bring him home. We want to bring Devin Newsome home. So, my Urbanites, I have to say, God bless you guys. Stay safe. Be blessed. Until next time, Lord willing. And thank you for entering into the Urban Suite. Good night.